This is the last question from the Alliance. In 2005, the Ames Community School District collaborated with the Ames City Council on an affordable housing project, which would have been developed on 24th Street. This is the land that's currently being developed as a new sports and administration facilities. That collaboration explored a project where the school district would donate the land at no cost, and the City of Ames would contribute federal funding to subsidize the infrastructure. This project prioritized community benefit over maximizing returns on the sale of the property. Would you consider broad community impacts and benefits as a primary factor over maximizing financial returns when disposing of Ames Community School District properties? Thank you.
Good question.
Yeah, absolutely. When disposing of Ames Community School District properties, would you consider as a primary factor the broad community impacts and benefits over maximizing the financial returns on the sale of the property? Does that okay?
Well, it makes sense to me, and thanks for the question. I was actually in 2005 more on the ground level with that. I worked with Vanessa, helping her maneuver how to do that project and with the financing on the banking side and on the other side of the work with her. So knew a lot about that. I was supportive of it at that time. I was hoping it would go through because it was something that was needed in the community. But most everything, when you look at the selling and buying of real estate, you got to have a willing and able buyer and a willing and able seller. And to get those two to match together, sometimes it's going to be tough. And that's what the challenge that the board has had in the past and what will be going forward. But I'm always an Ames person. If there's a way that we can do something to benefit Ames, is it the way that we could get a developer from Ames to help develop that, use local people to use as developers and subcontractors and all like that. I'm totally supportive of that. We take a little bit of a shortfall to get that done. You inject money into Ames for Ames developers and Ames people to inject it back into Ames. I think it makes a full circle. You might lose a little now, but you might gain back by those people spending their money in Ames as well.
Thank you for the question. It's probably no surprise that I've been the one spearheading this initiative to sell property. Reflecting upon that, what I've tried to accomplish is talking to the community and neighborhoods that are impacted by our decisions. There's been some good examples of outcomes and then maybe not so good examples. But I think the approach that I've taken is trying to have a respectful dialogue. Roosevelt was a perfect example. We met for over a year at least, probably 18 months, and trying to figure out a solution. I came up with a proposal. It was something the neighborhood didn't really like, so we talked, and we figured out a way to get it done. The district now has 2 more properties we'll be looking to liquidate. We have the old Edwards building that we'll be vacating at the end of the school year, as well as the administration building once we vacate. I've been talking with the SCAN neighborhood. I've met a couple times with them already. And again, it's all about setting that dialogue in a way that we can work together to find a solution. I can't speak to the 2005 issue. I wasn't on board at that time. But again, my approach, again, is to reach out to people to figure out a way to get things done. I'm not looking for the biggest return, as a question kind of looked for, but ways to help our community overall. So there'll be more to come on this. I have some great opportunities I think we're going to be able to push out here in the near future. So it'll, I think, help the community.
We've had related questions to this on all of our forums in terms of the real estate liquidation process, and I think it's important that you've got community outreach and you're as transparent as possible. And so that starts with having the conversations with those that are directly impacted in the area of those real estate liquidation pieces, and then the broader impact. So balancing that, obviously the Ames Community School District is a business, so that money does impact things, but getting an idea of what is going around that community, because each of our remaining pieces is different. And so what do we do to identify with those community members the area that they are directly impacted by, and then how we can get that to work with and moving forward with the liquidation.
Using the term land real estate liquidation or stuff, it kind of like washes it.
Let's face it, we're talking about land that we're selling in neighborhoods, typically, that were former schools and facilities. We need to take more thought in doing that process, involving those that are not only just in a nearby neighborhood, but working closely with the city, listen to their advice of how to approach selling that particular property in those areas, and then move forward. No, I don't think getting the highest price is going to be my priority. Definitely, it is going to be if we can work with a federal agency to develop more, as I remember the final question, right, had to do with some housing. That was to have more single-family housing in some of this property, I think, would be what we need as a school district. We need more children moving into houses, or going to school that are coming from single-family homes, not space for apartments. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily provide. We love our college students. Don't get me wrong. Because they bring such vibrancy to the community, and they help out with our tutoring programs, and they're very helpful. Thank you.
It's a very complex question, to be honest. Again, like Luke, I wasn't on the board in 2005, so I don't know the intimate details of what was and what wasn't. What I can tell you is that based on the needs of the district in the present, I think the outcome that we've found as a result of that not going through is a benefit to the district. But that's looking back, hindsight's always 20/20. Going forward, I think when it comes to opportunities for developable land in Ames, it's really a conversation between three government bodies, the school district being one, the city being another, and the university being the third. Because the university, for one, is the largest landowner in Iowa. That means that they own a lot of land that could be residential homes in and around this community right now. They own a lot of land that could be residential property that is currently not within the city's annexed area, but is within the boundary zones of the school district. We can't control what gets developed as a district. The city can by annexing land and by encouraging those developments to be that of residential homes. So it's really a three-part conversation that we need to get engaged with all the government bodies and try and move forward from there.